right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here for our first Lunchbox session of 2024. Hard to believe it's 2024 already. So happy New Year to everyone. We have a great lineup this year for our Lunchbox sessions. And this month, we're going to kick things off with Dr. Gatty. Many of you know her as the lead for the Women's Leadership Roundtables. So she is a familiar face to the chamber. So let me just give you a little bit of information for Dr. Gatty, and then we'll turn this on over to her. Dr. Gatty is a business leadership development strategist and president of Strategic People Solutions, a business consulting firm. Her company provides business implementation strategy, leadership coaching, and HR employment solutions to successful entrepreneurial businesses looking to grow to the next level. After years researching women leader issues, she now focuses much of her work on coaching women entrepreneurs. She is the author of several books, including The Entrepreneur to CEO, From Business Startup to Thriving Enterprise, Leadership Unleashed, A Great Dane's Wisdom for the Business World, and Get Things Done That Matter. She has been a member of the Chamber for many years, is a past chair of the board, and administers the Women's Leadership Roundtable. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Ann.
Well, thank you so much. And it is a pleasure to be here. I am going to start right out and share my screen. But I did want to say that a lot of the material that is coming to you is coming from my Get Things Done That Matters book. There it is. You can pick up a copy, but I have a lot of information in there to help people stay on task as they're building their business. Please excuse my raspy throat today, but I'm going to share my screen. And we will do the slideshow. If I can, from the beginning. And there we have it. So the session today is called Overcoming the Number One Barrier to Your Business Success. And I just want to make sure from the beginning that you turn off your cell phones. You know, this is a time for you to really focus with me on how to set up your business for a really great 2024. So I'm really asking that you stay away from distractions. Don't check your email, you know, really let's use this time to your benefit. And here's what you will learn in this masterclass. I am going to share 4 strategic steps that when implemented will keep you laser focused on your vision, ignite your business profits, and provide you freedom and to enjoy your life. When you're in business, you've got to remember that you're not there. Your number one purpose is not your business, but it's your life outside of the business. And so you use your business to provide you the resources to have that life you want to live. The second thing I'm going to share is a simple method to accelerate business growth and profits. It costs absolutely nothing, yet 99% of business owners completely miss it. And it's highly effective and proven to work. So you need to stay with me to the end to see what that is. So I'm just checking with you. Will this master class help me with any of my business challenges? Is it worth my time? So I just want to make sure. So the answer that I'd like you to make for this is, are you tired of watching others get ahead while you ask, why not me? Where are you with that? Have you struggled to reach your annual goals in your business? This is a new year. How did you do last year? Are you trying to decide on the best path to grow your business? If you're answering any of those questions, then this webinar or masterclass is going to be very helpful for you. My answer is that, and I'm going to see if I can move this over so I can, let's try that. Okay. Your leadership style and the way you manage your business make it unique. Your business, yet building any business follows similar processes and systems. So you all have your own leadership style. And I'm not going to question that. You know how you lead, you know how you manage, but there's certain procedures and processes that are specific and universal to all businesses. That's what we're going to work on today. So my promise to you is if you implement these strategic steps, you will experience immediate results. You'll get more focused on your vision, get faster results, make more money in less time, and enjoy more personal freedom. Take a sip of my tea. So let's get to it. Step one. And you're going to be working through the workbook or guidebook, and I'm going to start with assessing the current position of your business, which is your after action review. An AIR is centered on 4 questions. What was expected to occur? What actually occurred? What went well and why? What can be improved and how? So before you plan for 2024, look at 2023. What did you think was going to occur? What actually occurred? Did you meet your goals? What went well and why? And what can be improved and how? So if you go to page 2 in your workbook, guidebook, you'll see that I have this all stepped out for you. Now I have it really designed in case you have an organization where you may be working with teams, but this is something you can do individually as well. So, the first topic would be 2023, but you can also use this for quarters. Each quarter, you should be doing an AAR. Each time you have an event or a project, you should follow up with an AAR. So you set the conditions as far as who's going to be involved in this AAR. Is there a date, time, location? Who's going to attend? And you like to envision how the results from the AAR discussion will be integrated into the business. So, the thing is, when you're asking people to be a part of this, you're looking for unbiased representation, because some people, if it's their project, they may say everything went great. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but you want unbiased and analysis. And if you have any materials for visuals or note-taking, those should be created. Ensure and enforce attendance, and then you conduct your AAR. And you want to capture all the responses and share the AAR with the organization to enforce transparency and organizational learning. And then you can implement your findings with the AAR. The AAR is actually designed by the military. So anytime they did a mission, they would review that and see how it went and what information, what the results would be that could inform moving forward. So if you look on your next page, I actually give you a worksheet. If you're doing this with more than one person, if you have a team, they should all be creating this. They should all be answering this. If you're solo, do it by yourself, or do it with maybe you have some accountability partners, but you should be very objective. This is what we wanted to occur. Then what really did happen, reality. Maybe you were trying to accomplish too much in 2023 in too many different ways. You were trying to do marketing, you were trying to, do a new financial system, you were looking at a new sales system. Maybe you bit off more than you could chew. Maybe you were looking for too many clients that you couldn't fulfill. So that was your original intent. Then what happened? Then what are the next steps? And in doing that, you're going to say, how do we measure success? What went well? What didn't go well? And then from that, how are we going to be able to implement and start our plans for 2024? So that's the first thing that we want to do, because you can't move your business forward if you don't know where you're starting. So that's something that I feel very strongly about, is that you really do need to make an assessment before you start going forward. The second step that I really feel is important is that you create STAR goals on an annual basis. Now, what do I mean by a STAR goal? STAR goal is strategic, identifying long-term, let me see if I can get, well done. And if I can move this, there. Strategic, identifying long-term and overall aims and interests coupled with the meaning of achieving them. A strategic goal describes how the business will arrive at its vision in the current regulatory and competitive environment. So how are you going to do this? Time specific, obviously, is how long is it going to take you to establish this goal? Action oriented is what's the implementation process? And results oriented includes after action review. This again, I have, I don't have that page, but I do have, come on, there. I do have for you a worksheet that you can do, which if you have the goal components, strategic, time specific, action oriented, result oriented, you can begin to have an overarching annual business goal. However, and this is where it gets interesting, I have a goal for the year. Maybe I'm going to say I'm going to implement 2 new programs, get so many, I'm going to get 15 new clients. I'm going to do, have a webinar per quarter. That's where you start to then take that annual goal and divide it into 90-day sprints. And why do I say a 90-day sprint? That's basically a quarter. So what I'm saying, and this may seem like a lot of upfront work for you as you're planning out your year, but believe me, it'll come back and rewards will be overwhelming, because you'll have 4 specific goals, 1 for each quarter. And so you see that goal setting step 2, I'm asking 3 reasons why you have a goal 1, a goal 2, a goal 3, and a goal 4, and then 5 steps that it's going to take to implement and achieve that goal. 3 reasons, 5 steps, 3 and 5 for each goal. We're getting into the weeds, but again, this is scaffolding that when the going gets tough and you're sitting there saying, I'm going off course or whatever, you have reasons why you're doing what you're doing, and you have a set procedure of how you're going to get those things done. Because you don't want to lose a sense of direction. The reason I go in 90 day goals is because after each 90 days, you're going to do an after action review. And by doing an after action review, you'll see if you're still on course. And if you're not on course for your trajectory to reach your goals, then you can modify and get yourself back on course. You want to not, I mean, the main thing is, and this is why so many people do not end up reaching their goals, is because they lose a sense of direction. All of a sudden they're, you know, the newest shiny object has come along and they've completely lost sense of where they were going. So this is really providing you a structure that, when implemented, keeps you moving forward and keeps you on task. You don't want to lose a sense of direction, and you want to stay guided by your North Star. Your North Star is your goal for the end of the year. That's where your vision is. This is why you're in business. This is why you're doing things. And you want to then step by step get to that North Star. Now, step 3 is that you take action faster by planning your work. I know that you can't always plan out a full year, which is why I say you plan in 90-day increments, but you should take action on those goals each 90 days. So what I'm doing is I'm providing you with a 90-day sprint planning worksheet to clarify your focus on the overarching goal, but then and a financial target, but then dividing that out in 90-day sprints. I also think, and again, you may look at this and think, oh my gosh, is she getting into the weeds? But I then take that 90 days of chunking and I divide it into monthly plans. So each month you say, okay, where am I on this? How am I gonna hit these 90 days? If you're in sales, I bet you do this all the time. But sometimes for entrepreneurs, people working in larger departments, this can be hard because you can be pulled off in so many directions. So if you keep this ahead of you, that you're going to have a 90-day sprint, and then you're going to have 3 monthly planning sessions within that. And then again, you can do your daily planning, which, you know, I'm not going to give you a daily planner because each of you do that differently. But, and how do you use your calendar? Each person does that differently, but there should be things in place that you can monitor how you're achieving your goals. Now, look what I've done here. This is your 90-day sprint. And I say, here's your goal. But what I also am including is you're not doing this goal just for a feel-good reason. You're doing it for a financial outcome, most likely. So why are you doing the goal and what are you looking for as a financial outcome? Notice that I then have priorities for this time period, that in these 90 days, these are actually things that need to be accomplished. And can I delegate some of these? Can they be automated? You know, do you have a CRM program that you're automating some of your sales, or you're automating some of your referral partnerships? What is it that can be automated? What can be delegated? As an entrepreneur, I don't do my books. I delegate that to a bookkeeper. You know, I delegate some of my web work to a web designer. I delegate some of my marketing. So those are the kinds of things that I look for so that I can spend my time on my highest priorities. I'm not going to get into it here, but in the book, Get Things Done That Matter, I do talk about high payoff and low payoff activities, knowing where you should spend your time, what is going to waste your time, and what's going to give you the best dividends for your time spent. The next thing I look at is building tasks. You know, are there things that you can build on? So you got priorities and you've got things that you just know you want to build on your business. And some of those can be delegated and some can be automated. And there's some things that just have to happen. Every quarter, you know, you have to work on bookkeeping, or you know that you have to work on web updates. You know, you have certain continuous tasks that are going to happen. So those are your 90-day focus and outcome, financial outcome. And then I take the same thing, what's needed to accomplish this month. So if you wanted to establish a new product that you'll be consulting product that you'll be offering, or a new service that you'll be offering to your clientele, what needs to move forward, you're always chunking and saying, this needs to happen first. I'm a very, if you can't tell, I'm a very sequential person. This step has to happen 1, this step has to happen 2, this step has to happen 3. So on those 90 days, what needs to be accomplished this month? And all of this, by the way, all of these worksheets I have in there for you. And I am right now on page, I'm flying through this and we can then do some Q&A after this. I'm on page 8. So what needs to be accomplished, again, I'm using the same sheet. Priorities, building, continuous. At the bottom, by the way, I didn't really focus on that, but here are the business functions that I address in my business sphere of excellence, which is my business planning model. There's a marketing function, there's operating, there's sales, program development, financial planning. So all of those, you can use that as a reference all the way through this, because you're going to do marketing, you're going to do operations, you should be doing sales every day. Program development is research and development, and then financial planning and also financial record keeping. How are we doing with our finance? Then I have the same thing. Some people that I work with like 2-week sprint worksheets. So you can even develop it. You can, some people like that, some people don't. They just go straight to their daily planner. It's up to you. I included it for you to use if you find that helpful. So your choice, do you want your business to get to work like a sailboat without a rudder, where it's going nowhere? You know, I mean, it's just sort of sailing along. Or do you want it to run like having grease skids? So that's what this is all about. I'm really just giving you tools that you can use over and over again to keep yourself focused and aligned with where you want to go. So step 4 is executing the plans to reach your goals. Okay, implementing to make your dreams a reality. The number one barrier that can torpedo your business is a lack of discipline. So that's your number one barrier, that reason why I have all this structure for you. Because without discipline, you're not going to get to your goals. Motivation will get you nowhere without discipline. Purpose, without discipline, you'll never reach your purpose. And it's very easy to get pulled off and say, well, I'll put this off for tomorrow. Well, I'll do this later. And that's why I have such structure for you. If you follow this, it gives you a sense of discipline. You have accountability to perform. Without discipline, your business gets stuck. With discipline, your business improves step by step. Notice how I have steps, because step 1, you can't get to success unless you complete step 1, which moves you to step 2, which moves you to step 3, which moves you to step 4. And I tell clients, especially small businesses, step 1 is usually one product, one particular service that you're going to build, make money so that you then can afford and be able to go into step 2 and fund step 2, which will then take you to step 3, step 4. That's when you end up with success. So what I have here for you, what I've put forward is that, number 1, you assess your current position of your business, and quarter by quarter and project by project. Then you create annual goals to bring you closer to your vision. You plan your work by chunking out that annual goal, because then you'll see how realistic it is. Is it doable? You may get through quarter 1 and say, I can't do this. Then you have the chance to modify early on before you get into October and feel like, I am way off where I want to be. You want to be looking at it in March, the end of March. You want to look at it at the end of June. You want to look at it at the end of September. Those are things that are going to keep you moving towards where you want to be. And then plan your work by completing your worksheets. I mean, I would do this if I had departments. I'd have all my departments doing this as well, and they can see how they are contributing to the annual goal. And then you implement the plan step by step, which gives you the discipline you need. My goal for you in doing this, and I'm whizzing through this so we can go back now and have a lot of Q&A, but my goal for you is to choose to move forward. You need to invest in yourself. You need to take action, because your dream is to become your reality. Now, here's something else small businesses forget. Your number one client is your own business. People will worry about, oh, I have to deliver this for this client or that client. How much time do you spend on your own business? That takes discipline. That's one of the reasons that I have put together this plan your work, get things done that matter, and plan your work so you can work your plan so that you have time for your own business. Why you should talk to me, and I'm offering this for you free of charge, but any of you who've been on this, if you want to leave your job and start over, you know, why am I putting this together? You may want to start a business that you run and don't have to answer to a boss. These are entrepreneurial decisions. You want to grow and improve your current business. You want to earn your own money. You need an accountability partner. You know that the world needs your passion. So you need to take action. So any of you who want to talk to me, there's my email. I'd be glad to establish a time to talk with you. Again, there's no cost to this. If you have questions about how you do this, my concern is as chamber members, you are successful at what you're doing. And if there's any way I can help, I do this with the Women Leadership Roundtable. If there's any way I can help, I'd love to help you do that. Because a year from now, will you wish you had started your strategic movement today? A year from now, where are you going to be? So I'm saying you need to start today, follow a step-by-step sequence, and implement your day one. Say, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to start my AAR. I'm going to go through this. And if there's any questions on that, again, feel free to see me and talk to me about it. And that's what I'm talking about. So that was a real quick and dirty. If you have questions, now's the time to ask. Oh, show of hands. How many of you think that you're going to start to implement this? I should see everybody's hand.
Feel free to unmute yourself if you should have a question for Dr. Ann. We do have another about 30 more minutes of the Lunchbox session. So really take this time to utilize any kind of information you would like to expand on.
Yeah, if there are any challenges, you say, hey, here's going to be a hiccup. Here's where I'm going to have trouble. What kinds of things do you find that might be hindrances that you say, hey, I'm not sure I can do this, or I don't know that my business owners would agree with this, or, you know, I'm just not sure that I can keep the momentum going. So what kinds of things do you find would be a challenge or confusion? Yes, Lisa.
I'm sorry. I guess my question is, so I do this already with the owner of our business, so that you know, you're planning each quarter, we're planning each year, and breaking it down into quarters, and then kind of we meet each week on it. But my question is, how much of this, and I'm very sorry if you guys can hear this weird background noise, my cat is sitting on my desk and he's snoring really loud, so I apologize. But I wonder how much of this I should share with everyone else in the business. Like, I question how much of it to bring to them, how much of it is too detail oriented, how much of it is
How many people in your business? Tell me a little bit about your business, Lisa.
So it's the Hormone Center. There are 9 of us.
Okay.
But really the 2 people who are doing all of the strategic planning are myself and the owner. So
Yeah,
I feel like, because everybody else is very involved in all the day-to-day, you know, they're seeing patients, they're answering patient questions. I feel like it would be helpful and it might be a good thing, but I'm also like, are they going to just think, why are you telling me this?
I think I would ask them quarter by quarter, how are they contributing? How are they contributing to this goal? And also, you know, a leader envisions, and then a leader communicates that to the rest of the organization, but you need buy-in. And so by communicating with them, you get the buy-in so that they can then execute. They start to know why they're doing what they're doing. Or the other thing is, since they're front line, they're going to have an opportunity to say, hey, here are things that we think would do better. We're frontline. Here's what we're hearing. So they have an opportunity to contribute maybe ways to improve. And they can say, you know, we're hearing this. Is there a way that we can streamline this? Or is there a way that we can offer, you know, that in our scheduling, we have opportunities for more time, or we have they keep asking the same questions, the confusion. Is there a way that we can have some materials we give them? But they're going to have that kind of information that I think would provide you necessary input in some of this. Even if you don't ask them to fill out all this stuff, asking them what they're hearing would give you better input.
Thank you.
Yeah. Donna, did you have a question?
Hello, I just want to say thank you. What a great kickstart to 2024 this has been. I appreciate it. And you definitely hit on the issue where I struggle with. And by, you know, you have big visions, but then chunking it down into day-to-day, smaller tasks to make sure it gets done, because I'm totally guilty of turning around and going, wait a minute, did I do anything I was hoping to start, you know? And, you know, I'm very guilty of it. So I appreciate that a lot. And I love the idea of breaking it down to just weeks. So that was really mostly my comment. The challenge, I mean, I mostly work for myself. We have a team here, but it's on me, right? So it's me that needs to do this for me and get you know, I have big vision goals, but.
And some of us, and I'm talking a lot to women, but some of us are so hard on ourselves that if you're not doing this, you may not notice the achievements you're making.
That's a very good point.
Then you'll say, well, what did I do this quarter? Geez, I didn't accomplish anything. And you start beating up on yourself. And so this also gives you to say, geez, I really accomplished a lot. I can't believe how much I got done. And that's something too, because we get caught in the weeds. And this helps us to remind ourselves why we're doing what we're doing. And quarter by quarter, we're step by step moving forward. But, you know, the other thing I should bring up, we're often guilty of time optimization. Time optimization is where we think we can get things done in less time than it actually takes. And we get mad at ourselves because, well, I thought I could do this. And I have this big, you know, slide program. I thought it'd take me a couple hours. It took me 2 days. And we start getting mad at ourselves because we thought we could do it faster than we could. And we don't give ourselves the time. And by doing this and breaking things down, I feel like you would find how long it really takes and not get upset with yourself because it takes that time. Other questions? Again, I apologize for my raspy voice.
Dr. Ann, I like page 3, the after action review, especially for me coming into my position in September. Most of the year was already, you know, over, and I came in, you know, in the 4th quarter, and just kind of taking a look at this and just reflecting on, okay, what happened throughout the whole year, even the months that I wasn't here.
Right.
You know, and, you know, what does the team think worked? What didn't work? Were the goals met? Because they were goals set before I got here. So
Sure.
were they met? What and why or why not? And then like moving forward, what are my new goals going to be? And not even just like monetary goals, but like, just action items that, get me out into networking or, different things that we're going to do that are actually actions and not just all about the dollars. So it's a really great reflection on what happened, but then what am I going to do to improve the results?
I love the fact that you can use this. This gives you a really great conversation piece for the staff that you were coming in the fourth quarter. And so you didn't know what their intentions were. And this gives you a great time to just look at the team and say, oh, okay, now I'm learning more about what the pulse is at the chamber. And yeah, everybody, you guys at the chamber have separate functions. So you're all going to set somewhat different goals, but they all have to go for the mission. So it allows you then to, I would do quarter by quarter and have you each fill out one of these and just say, here's where I thought we could go. Here's what really went well. Here's what didn't. And then Jim could say, okay, moving forward, we're going to emphasize this, maybe not emphasize that. And it just gives you a better perspective. Yeah, really good observation. And I think that's true for any of you who are coming into a business where you're sort of coming in the middle, or if you want to get to know colleagues better and, what are they doing? What are you doing? So that you can work more as a team. So I think that those kind of things are very helpful.
I like this idea for the board too. Did you use this when you were president of the board for chamber?
I hadn't made it yet, Donna.
No, okay. But I think
But
it's
I
a great
do
idea
use
so
it
that,
with
to have
several
the
board
board
members.
have goals. Yeah. Board members,
I
yeah.
came up with this as I was just leaving the board. So, but yeah, it is a good thing to use
I
with
think
it.
it wouldn't be, we want to be productive too, right? Yeah.
Right.
Right. And have goals for the year. Yeah.
Well, and I think that it can give you opportunities to learn from one another because you're all different businesses. So if you're all different businesses, just learning what everybody does is helpful. Others of you. Yeah, Stephen.
Hi. First, I wanted to thank you for reminding me of what I already knew in terms of after actions reports. It's been many years since I've had to fill one of those out. So thank you for that.
Are you ex-military?
Yes, Air Force, 7 years.
Yeah, they're perfect.
But so as I would do these things and kind of reflect on, okay, after this particular project, after this quarter, what went well, what didn't. Do you have in the world of UX, I create a lot of artifacts, and then sometimes they just tend to sit on the shelf somewhere. Like, hey, we thought about it, but here's something really good, and it just sits there. And do you have a recommendation on when to review those kind of after actions reports as kind of like a bit of self-reflection? Do you recommend like a quarterly thing, a monthly thing? What kind of cadence
How are
seems
you
to work
using
well?
that now? When you say you have things that just sit on the shelf, tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. So for a particular business, I might do some persona work where I create personas and say, these are your different market segments. And you do that once and you gain a lot of knowledge. And then that artifact sometimes just sits on the shelf because you designed the website specifically for those personas, but those personas change over time. So it's a good thing to review them once a year. That review doesn't always happen because nobody thinks about it until, the next big crisis happens.
What's your business?
Website design.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that again, looking at your functions, if you're looking at, you might do an after action review with each of your clients. If I'm doing website design, I agree with you. Your persona changes. And my avatar, what I'm going after now, is different than 20 years ago when I started, So I do think that works. And it would be good to teach them how to do this, why, and incorporate it with your clients, and you would do it with marketing. And I would do that depending on how often you communicate with your clients, at least halfway through the year. Maybe you only do it twice, but I think since you're familiar with it, the reason I even had the after action review is I have 2 sons in the military. And so I got used to what they were doing. But it's just a tool that is probably one of the most powerful tools you can use. And before you redesign a website, I would go in and I do an after action review and go over and then say, what are your goals? What are your goals with the website?
That is part of my process in terms of, I want to interview internal stakeholders, interview customers, talk with them, make sure they understand, everyone understands the business goals and then also connecting with the customers to make sure, what do you think this company's business goals are? And, how did it meet your needs or didn't for whatever reasons? So yeah, kind of reviewing that is how I usually start a redesign. It's just, most people usually don't think about redesigning a website until it's woefully out of date. And then they're like, oh, we need to start all over again. I'm like, no, if you just maintained it over the years, it wouldn't be in this state.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And I think the other thing about websites that I've been learning myself with my business is I'm doing less and less. I'm more niche, I'm more focused. And you'll have a website or a business that says, I'm gonna work with everyone. And it's like, no, just a few. And I talk about one-trick ponies. Get your one-trick pony first, which is your one product, your one area, and then move on and add upsells from that. But yeah, I think that the thing that you do a lot of educating, I'm sure, Steve, with your website, because they don't know. People don't. That's why they're hiring you.
Or even more interesting, they think they know because they use websites, therefore they know how to make them too.
Oh, no, I agree. I understand. That's why I have a website that she maintains it monthly.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate this.
Sure. Others? Quiet over here. Nothing from Laura or Lisa. Lisa talked to me. Christina. Tom Baker. Come on, who else has? How many of you are going to do it, and where are you going to find what would hold you back from doing it?
Nothing at all, Dr. Ann. It's always good to hear from you. You provide inspiration and insight, and I will make sure to fill this workbook out for sure. And just kind of fitting into my new role here on day number 8 or so. But Variety's looking forward to getting much more involved with the chamber. We're doing a little declaration of our signing on as a member today at 4:30 with Carrie and Denise and the crew there. So, but no, I always enjoy hearing from you, Dr. Ann, and you provide a lot of good insight for sure.
I think that you should take go to school off what Denise said and do an after action review since you're coming in and find out what's been working or not with Variety.
I was thinking that, as I was looking through through the worksheet, the workbook, I was thinking it'd be really good for us to do this as a team. I went from 28 staff to 7, which is more manageable in some ways. We could very easily kind of all go through something like this together.
Well, and you can get that, puts you on the that allows you to hit the ground running.
Yep, absolutely. But thanks as always. You're always wonderful. I appreciate you.
I just apologize again for my raspy throat.
It's fine. It's fine.
Frogs.
I saw, what was it, Richard Marks or Peter Cetera? They said Bryan Adams once called them to find out the best advice to how to get your voice back when you have a presentation or a speech. I think it was Richard Marks, but yeah, he was like the legend of knowing how to do it, I guess.
And what did he say?
It was something like what you were talking about earlier with the honey and I think you're on the right track with your strategy.
I think it's a whiskey.
Oh, man.
I think it's a whiskey.
I see Donna Klein shaking her head for that. Oh, watch out. All right. Well, thank you very much. It's just nice to see everyone's faces too. I have a little bit more of a crew here that's work from home, some solo today, actually. So it's just nice to see all your wonderful faces.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I really like the idea of breaking down my tasks. Like, I encourage my clients to do this. Why am I not doing that myself? I don't know. but I need
Discipline.
to.
Discipline.
Mhm.
Really, that is the key thing. And what is your business, Laura?
I'm a nutritionist.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, your number one business is you and your business. So we sometimes forget. We tell everybody else what they should be doing, what they should be eating, exercise. We don't do it ourselves. We're our own worst enemy. Anyone else? Well, I went I got this done pretty quick. Is there anything you want to add, Carrie, about the next Lunchbox series?
Yes, so I have booked all of the Lunchbox sessions for the year.
Oh, wow.
This is something we really want to get out to the membership because this really is a little gem. So the next one for February will be on February 14th on Valentine's Day. So this one is tailored toward workforce development. So your local workforce development board, knowing who they are and how it can help your business. That will be a great one. A lot of people don't know what they're otherwise known as a WIB, what a WIB is, what they do. There are 4 different workforce investment boards based on the county in which your business is located. So we are going to hear from the Tri-County Workforce Investment Board that services Butler, Indiana, and Armstrong counties, but we have connections to the others as well. And these offer some great things for the business owners for staffing purposes with internships that they pay for the staffer. So it'll be a great thing to learn. I think it's one step toward the ever burning question is, why can't we get anybody to work? And how can we do that, right? So I think that will be great. And so just look for, I'm going to create a graphic that tells all of the titles for the year so that people can be aware and mark it on their calendars in advance. So that's what we're working on here at the chamber. We also have our big legislative breakfast coming up at the end of the month on January 31st that was just announced on Monday. 2 prominent speakers, former politicians, Rich Fitzgerald in his new role will be there to speak about what his new role does, serving 10 counties also with workforce development, and former PA Senator Matt Smith, who works with the Allegheny Conference as the growth officer. He will be talking about the types of industries that are moving into our 10-county region, what to focus on, and how to retain and use the talent that is here in Pittsburgh so that they don't move elsewhere. So it's going to be a great presentation. I encourage business owners to register for this. It will be at the Chadwick. So that is up on our registration pages. Those are my 2 big promotions for this month.
Well, and I have a promotion for Women's Leadership Roundtable, which this month we will be exploring trade-offs, how you identify trade-offs in your work and, work-life balance, and how you achieve, a balance between them. But what are the trade-offs that you're willing to handle and not handle, and how do we decide that? So it should be an interesting topic for women. And that's on the 25th. We go from 8 to 9, and we're very good about getting off at 9. So just put a little push for Women Leadership Roundtable, which we have a pretty good turnout these days. So it's really fun to learn from each other. We have quite a conversation, but I'll be sending stuff over to Carrie, and then I will have, I usually try and have an article or something that you can look at beforehand. But and if Carrie, if you have this participant guidebook, if you want to put it out there with the material, with this webinar, then feel free.
Definitely. So if anybody is viewing this on the cloud and on the YouTube channel. We can get you this book by just emailing me, and you can have the access to it. I know everyone on here today has it, and it has been distributed that way, but anybody who's viewing this after we are finished with the session can email me and we'll get you the material.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much for attending our first Lunchbox session of the year. I look forward to seeing everyone for next month and the sequential months up until November.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much,
much.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ann. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr.
you,
Ann.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.